reasonable with yourself. You're like, I was a dummy and I fucked that up real hard. And I think once you embrace that, you have a bit of a clearer view of things. Embrace your fuck ups, correct them. The moment you start blaming outside factors like, oh, the matchup's just dumb, which I've done this stuff before, guys. I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of past Pig. Well, I'm making fun of you guys as well, but I'm making fun of past Pig as well. Sometimes current Pig still gets angry about that sort of stuff. He's like, the matchup's just unfair. Not as much as I used to, thankfully. Still happens once in a while. A little bit better at refocusing my rage on productive shit these days. Not always, but usually. He said after the Nexus, he went straight Stargate. What would be an appropriate response when my opponent flows up with gay Stargate? I don't know what a gay Stargate is. So I'm not really sure on the difference between a gay Stargate and a regular Stargate, Muffin Man. Not really sure on that question, mate. Is that like double Stargate? Is the Stargate? I don't know. What? I'm confused. Generally it's up to you though. Blink is obviously one of the most common things. I actually like to not go Blink wherever possible. Because I'm like, well, I'm probably not going to catch them anyway. And I feel like the fight's going to be decided in a follow-up to those Phoenix. So just get observers out in the right position and try to deal with it as best you can, you know? So anyway, I like to get this third pylon down nice and early on the low ground, guys, just to make sure I don't forget it. Alright. We want to go Sentry Stalker. And we want to get that warp gate. Alright, so he's dropped all of his chronos. Shit. He's focused on that, so he's not pulling his probe away.
I am here. Our pylon is under attack.
2 Stalkers for him.
State thy bidding. I am.
Are you kidding me? Oh, you suck at your job, Stalker. You really suck at that job. Sentry's taken over, man.
Your probes are under attack. I am here in the shadows. I am here in the shadows. The skies.
It's an expansion, that's double Sentry, so I don't actually think he's gone Stargate this time. What do we got, baby? RoboForge, same opening as me. Okay. So we just want to kind of sit these units here, to be honest. We're going to make 1 Immortal. Now, because we know that he has gone Forge Robo, he can't defend a Warp Prism properly. Neither can we, so we gotta keep our eyes open for that shit. But for now, it's just like Chrono Boost the probes. Get a spotting pylon up there. Warp Prism.
I return to serve.
So we're just kind of macroing up right now. We're gonna leave one Stalker on the edge of the main, because I'm like, well...
Let your will be heard. The firstborn shall
So we're
persevere.
gonna send these two
We
Adepts
serve with pride.
up there.
I am the voice. Still thy bidding.
Let's get the Twilight. Now I'm expecting him to be fully prepared now, since he's seen it coming.
Where shall we march? Towards Allah.
Upgrade complete.
Stun +2.
Forward. To glory.
I return to serve.
The Templar. March.
Good play by him. So he doesn't have a third yet.
Time for battle.
Yeah. So he's also just kind of going for the crazy gateway count. Okay.
Assault des Templars. Adon. Highlight for hire. Upgrade research. The merging is complete. Highlight for hire. Mineral field completed. Highlight for hire.
Let's go! We got him. Hit him on the back as these zealots ran in. Shield battery energy eventually runs out. We just barely managed to hang on. We even kept the Nexus alive with 24 hit points. So let's go through my decision making, guys, in terms of my default PvP game plan. I never rush a third base anymore. I used to always die because I did that. This is what's made my PvP not terrible. It's actually kind of half decent now. Is I basically always go for the delayed Twilight. Now this makes me weak to blink pressure, where if someone's blink pressuring, I need to be really good at splitting Immortals in the main and at the natural, and I need to take a really careful third. Thing is, your opponent, even if they go blink pressure, they can get a faster third than you because you can't move out. But they've invested in a whole lot of Blink Stalkers which suck in pitched battles, and the Blink tech. So as long as you don't take actual damage, and all they do is force themselves to get a third, say a minute faster than you, you don't care. Now, part of the reason why you don't care is because your default game plan, or at least my default game plan, is to just stop at 2 base saturation, maybe a couple workers over. I think I went to about 50 this game, maybe 49, and then basically just stop. And even though I'll take a third, I look to hit a big timing attack of 10 gateways, about 3 Immortals usually. Yeah, usually about 3 Immortals. I always have a Warp Prism. If I'm offensive, of course, that's with me, warping it on the front. If I'm defending, it's counter-attacking. Even if it's just a couple zealots, dropping into a mineral line, what you can often do is force a warp in pickup, tell it to drop in the main, and if they're so focused on the front, sometimes you kill a ton of probes, sometimes you force heaps of warp-ins at home for just 2 zealots in a warp prism, something like that, or you do massive damage. But basically my default is, okay, add the Templar Archives, add charge, get to +2, make a bunch of Archons, Immortal Zealots, and try to kill a bitch. Now in this case, I'm not necessarily just being like, derp, I'm gonna move out and attack him now, because I'm getting the third. I always get the third, but it's a transitional third. You don't probe it until you actually have a good reason to probe it, right? I just had a few excess probes on my natural, so I was like, oh, you guys might as well go there. But notice we're on identical work accounts. The difference is I've scouted this game multiple times and I've seen no third. And I'm like, okay, yep, you don't have a third even started. Mine's almost finished. If I defend this attack, I'm way ahead on the economy. I know he's got the pressure to commit and try to break me right now. And if we look at the numbers, you can see they're super similar, right? It's like he's got a few more zealots, identical Immortals and Archons right now. I built a shield battery. Maybe I should have built a few more there. Probably would have really helped because shield batteries plus Archons is great. The reason I don't like to overinvest in shield batteries is they can outposition you. Whereas I ended up fighting away from the shield battery because I could get a better angle that way, right? So I basically just said, look, just keep massing units. And what if we're in this whole position for ages and then I realize, oh fuck, he's taken a third here and he's got 10 probes on it. I'd just move across and try to do an attack. That's it, you know, it's a very simple game plan. Does it always work? No. But it keeps things simple, and because of my limited skills in the matchup, it allows me to have a very confident plan of what to do in each situation, right? It's just super simple. It's like, eh. And then he comes and he says, come fight me over here, dickhead. Come fight me. But notice how I spread my army below the mineral line, half of it, half above, because I want to come through there, and through this wide open area, rather than getting choked up behind each other in one area. So we come forward. It's not the cleanest engage, but I do move these units forward. I stutter step them a few times. And then we have this beautiful, gigantic arc. And even though that was a very nice force field, and I probably should have moved that arc on there to block it, we get most of these units through. These zealots are just causing a big distraction back at home. And he just didn't quite have the numbers. GG's. So that's that one. It's a good opening too. Stalker and a Sentry. Nexus, 2 more Stalkers and a shield battery. Scout with a hallucination. And the probe puts down the pylon at the start, so I'm mentally aware. Am I watching for 2 Adepts or 2 Stalkers? If I know it's 2 Stalkers, I'm relaxed. If it's 2 Adepts, I've got my probe sitting there at my wall in, ready to shield battery block, like just fucking waiting for my Stalker to spot the Adepts coming. So that's why that pylon block at their natural, or on top of the ramp is really good. Yeah, I had +2 attack, Matt. +2 attack.